different this morning. We're going to do a skit. Zoe and Frank are going to do the skit. Frank is going to be playing a part of a guy a kid from a third world country that is really curious about American culture. And Zoe is going to be playing an American student. Okay? So, let's listen to these guys. They're going to get after it. All right, go for it.
So I heard that you live in a house.
Yeah.
And you built another house right next to it.
What?
Yeah, I heard you have a house for your cars right next to your other house.
No, it's called a garage.
I know, and I heard we have so much stuff that sometimes we make cars sit outside and the other stuff sit in the other house.
Well, yeah, because we have a bunch of tools like dirt bikes, Christmas decorations, barbecue pit, and all kinds of other stuff. If we leave it outside, it'll get all messed up.
Well, I wish I was your Christmas decorations. We sleep outside most nights because our house isn't big enough for my whole family.
That sucks.
It is also true that you and your clothes have your own room too.
Yeah, but normally I don't have anything to wear, and I can never figure out what to wear because I don't want to wear anything the same thing twice in a week.
I wear the same thing every day because my mom and dad can't afford to give all of us new clothes. And we all share a room. Most of the time, we let our younger kids sleep on the bed and we sleep on the ground. You know, I heard you guys have a magic hole that you put all your extra food. You don't eat it, and then it turn on a button, and it just makes really loud noise, and everything disappears.
Yeah, it's called a garbage disposal. Don't you all have one of those?
Why do y'all call food garbage? We only eat once a day, and we share it. And there's never anything left over. Can I come over to your garbage disposal?
No, that's weird.
Well, I would at least get to eat every day. You're rich. You have more than you know. I mean, you get to go to school 5 days a week and learn. You have so much food, you throw it away. You get to go and pick out brand new shoes from school every year, and I come live with you.
We aren't rich. We live in a small house, and my mom won't even let me have an iPhone. And I have to eat school lunches from the cafeteria.
All right. So this is, thank you, Frank. Thank you, Zoe. So if you notice, Zoe sounds a lot like you guys. She relates to you guys. You know, she's like, man, I'm not rich. I'm not rich. I mean, my mom doesn't even let me have an iPhone. We don't even have the money for me to have an iPhone. And I have to eat school lunches from the school cafeteria. Every single day I go to school. And I have to go to school. That sucks in itself, that I have to go to school. What do you guys consider to be rich? Anybody? What do you consider to be rich, CJ?
A person who either lives in a mansion, has a very big throne or everything, or if they just have a really active personality.
Okay, so he said it's a very wide spectrum of person. He said somebody that has a mansion or a throne. I have a throne, but they have a mansion, which means they would have a lot of money, right? Or they have a really outgoing personality. And that's the one I love because that is something to make you rich. Anybody else? Anybody else? What is rich to you? Tyler?
People who give out good candy on Halloween.
People who give out good candy on Halloween. Those are rich people. Because, yeah, the big candy bars, because you have to have a lot of money to do that. Angel?
To have what you have.
To have what you have. Mariah? What is rich to you? Chocolate cake is rich. Okay, we're starting to talk about food. I can tell everybody's getting kind of hungry. It's 11:20. So the majority of you think that rich is money. He said a throne or a mansion. CJ, time's up. All right. So you said it's money or it's handing out big candy bars. That's so funny. It was like a month ago. But handing out big candy bars, having a big house, having a mansion, having a throne, for that matter. And so what I asked you guys last week was, who wants to know how to be rich? And you all raised your hand, and I had a student put their hand down, and she goes, I said, why'd you put your hand down? Don't you want to be rich? She goes, I know I'm going to be rich. How about that? Well, hey, guess what? She knows she's going to be rich. So what I want to talk to you guys about, and I know you're probably thinking, I don't have any money, I'm only 10, or I'm only 12, or I'm only 13 or 14. I'm in junior high, I'm in middle school, I don't even have money. My mom and dad deal with the money. My brothers and sisters, they have a job. I don't have a job. I don't need a job yet. But guess what? That's our generation. We don't want to learn until we're actually in the situation. And so I know some of you guys get paid an allowance, or you do chores and you get paid for those, or you might have a little job that you do. I know I was talking to a student last service. She rides horses and she wins money riding horses, and so when she wins, she gets the money for riding horses. Whatever it may be, you somehow have money, or you have something that is valuable. Notice that not really anyone said anything about time. No one said anything about time, that you're rich if you have a lot of time. But for me, time is money, and time is valuable. Time is just about as valuable as money is to me. And the reason why we're doing this series is not just to go, okay, we're going to talk about money and we're going to talk about time. I have this bucket here. Give me all your money right now. Think I'm kidding? I'm just kidding. All right, so you think that that's what I was going to do, is just go, give me all your money. That's, I think that's probably what your parents thought last week when Tom started the series, Be Rich as Well. Hey, give me all your money. We're going to do stuff with it that's great, but we're not going to tell you, and that's not what we're going to do. So, but I want to teach you how to be rich, because in 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 17 and 18, it says, teach those who are rich in this world not to be proud and not to trust in their money, which is so unreliable. Wait a minute, that just said money is unreliable? All right, so trust, their trust should be in God, who richly gives us all we need for our enjoyment. Tell them to use their money to do good. They should be rich in good works and generous to those in need, always being ready to share with others. This is why we're talking about it. Because I think in our society, okay, even people in the younger generation like you guys, okay, I've been there not that long ago, almost 10 years, a little over 10 years ago. But I didn't understand this because, I was in my own little world. Right? 90% of us, it's all about me. It's what I want. When somebody says, hey, what do you want for Christmas? Oh, I want this. Or I want that. Or I ask somebody, hey, what are you thankful for? They're like, oh, I'm so thankful for my Xbox. I'm like, what? And so I think to myself, it is a lot of our generation thinks about me. And there is this bubble that we're in, and it's all filled with me. And there's nothing inside my bubble except for me. And we don't see anybody but me, myself, and I. And so we never think to ourselves, I'm rich. You never think to yourselves that you're rich. But in the skit, you kind of heard that from Frank, he was like, so I heard you have a house. Is that ever a conversation that you have with a friend? Hey, so I heard you have a house. No, it's just, it's something that everybody assumes. You have a house, or you have something that you live in. You have an apartment, or a condo, or a fourplex, or a house, or whatever. You have a house, okay? It's assumed because that's our culture. That's our society. You have a house, everybody has one. Like he said, oh, no, that's called, Zoe was like, no, that's called a garage. It's not a second house. It's called a garage. It's for my car. And then Frank was like, yeah, but I heard you had to, if sometimes you have too much stuff, you put all your stuff in your garage and your cars have to sit outside. Like they're human or something. That's how we think, Like if a house doesn't have a garage, we're like, man, that's a pain. Where am I going to put all my stuff? I have a garage. That was actually something I thought about when I was looking for a house about a year ago. I was like, Gretchen, we got to get a place with a garage. I have a lot of tools. Now my mom's hoping that I had a garage because all my tools are in hers. But this is how we think. This is how we think. We think about me, myself, and I. And what I want to do in the next 4 weeks is I want to break us out of that bubble. I want to pop that bubble, for that matter. And I want you to think about others. Maybe that's a shocker. We're going to think about other people for the next 4 weeks, other than yourself. Because I know right now in this time, Christmas is all about what gifts am I getting? What am I getting from Santa? What am I getting from Mom and Dad? And so I just want to share some things with you. How many of you get an allowance? Raise your hand. Or you receive money from Mom and Dad for chores or whatever. Raise your hand. Okay. So you have an allowance or something. One of the statistics is this. The average allowance for kids in the U.S. is $65 a month, which comes out to $16.25 a week. $65 a month. Hey, I'll come live with you. Because that's $5 more a month than I get for myself. I'll take $5. $16 a week. $16.25 a week that you get for you to spend on you. Watch this. The average monthly wage for an adult in a third world country is $48 a month and $12 a week. You are making more than the average adult in a third world country. This person is providing food for their family and shelter for their family. $48 a month, $12 a week. That's not an allowance. That's something they go out and they bust their rear end for. That's crazy to think about. When you pop that bubble, all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, how do they do it? How is that possible? I mean, I can barely buy a game with $65. How do they feed their family for $48? I don't know how they do that. $12 a week. My cafeteria lunches that I hate cost more than that. Right? I hate cafeteria lunches. Oh. Get this. The average U.S. person spends $114 a day. A day. $114 a day. No, listen. I know what you're thinking. I know a lot of you are thinking, I don't spend $114 a day. Are you kidding me? If I had $114 a day, that comes out to more than $65 a month. No, but guess what you do have? You have electricity, you have running water, you have a house, you have a car to drive around in, you have a school that you get to go to, you have food at school, you have things at home that you get to hang out and play with. You have a different pair of clothes you get to put on every single day. Sometimes you're confused about what you wear. You're like, I have so many clothes, I don't know what to wear. See, I'm boring. I usually wear the same thing every week. I just go, I wore that last Tuesday, I'll wear it on Wednesday. That's how I am. Like 7 outfits, and that's just what I wear. But look, $114 a day. Average rate of a person in other countries is $1.60 a day. $1.60. $1.60. 60 cents. Can't even buy a breakfast stock at a Whataburger for that. We just popped the bubble again. We're spending money. Just like Frank said in the skit. Frank said, you have so much food. You have no idea how much you have. You have so many clothes that confuse you on what to wear. And you have so much food that you throw it away. And you have a second house for your car. Things that we take advantage of. The student between age 8 and 18 is on a video game or social media for 13.2 hours a week. You have so much time that you get to do video games or social media. 13 hours a week. Students between the ages of 8 and 18 are working 20 to 40 hours a week to help put food on the table in other countries, third world countries. Kids your age helping mom and dad to put food on the table. I know in Haiti, a lot of them, I've seen pictures, they carry baskets on their heads, or they carry baskets here, and they are walking in a line up a hill for a mile or two, sometimes more. What is it, Zoe? Yeah, about a mile. Just carrying baskets to go to the market to sell things, to be able to put food on the table, be able to pay to go to school. Hop in the bubble again. So here is the word that I want to talk to you guys about, that I really want to focus on for the next couple of weeks, is the word generous. How many of you know what the word generous means? If you just read that, now you know. All right, Nathaniel. What does the word generous mean?
To give without thinking.
To give without thinking? Chris? Something like that?
Like if someone doesn't have a lunch there, if you their lunch is
Yeah. What about you, Bob? Huh? Be kind. That actually is a definition. That's the second one. But to be generous is showing readiness to give more of something as money or time than is strictly necessary or expected. Strictly necessary or expected. Giving generously. You know, something that Pastor Tom said last week in large service for adults is he said, if there is one thing that our church could be known for, out of all the things, out of all of our core values, it would be generous, that we're a generous church. That we're a generous church. And I want to overflow that into here as a student ministry. That if we are known for one thing, that we are known to be a generous student body, a student church, student group. That we are generous. And so he gave some goals for large service. Okay? He gave some goals for certain things that we want to do over the next couple of weeks. Okay? And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to challenge you guys just like your parents are getting challenged. Because guess what? I think too much we think, oh my gosh, I'm in junior high, I can't do anything. I'll let mom and dad just figure that out and work that out. You're right, there are some things that you can't do. But the average student is $65 a month in allowance or earnings for doing chores. So here's a goal that Tom gave last week. Church-wide, $20,000. Okay? To a place called the Neighborhood Center. And if you know anybody that works there or goes there or does, don't run, go tell them because they don't know. Okay? And we're not going to tell them. But we want to be able to write a check for $20,000 and give it to them. Okay? So what I want to challenge you with to be a part of this $20,000 is I want to raise as junior high, middle school through junior high. I want to raise $1,000. And you're thinking, I don't have $1,000, dude? Yeah. My mom doesn't have $1,000. I mean, does anybody in here have $1,000? Because we can get this over pretty quick. You have $1,000, CJ?
not me.
Okay. Well.
My college fund.
No. All right, so let me break this down for you. We have about 100 students in here on any given Sunday between both services. That comes out to $10 a person. $10.
Do it.
$10. Like Ella said, she said, let's do it. Anybody else on board with Ella? Let's do it. Okay, so listen. We're going to have this here for the next couple of weeks. And this is what we're going to put our Be Rich money in. But listen, if you don't put it in this bucket, maybe let's say you go over to the large building to find your mom and dad, and you say, Mom and Dad, I want to give to this goal of $1,000 for move. Then grab an envelope, and we have a box right out here outside the door, and you also have them over there in the auditorium. And you say, Mom and Dad, help me fill one out, and you can fill out an envelope, put your name on it, but be rich, okay? And right above that, just put move, M-O-V-E. So that we can make sure, so we can figure out how close we're getting to this goal. Because next week, I want to give you an update on how close we are. How cool would that be? Because, I mean, can you imagine raising $1,000 to just give away to somebody?
Yes. It's in one of my dreams.
CJ, I love you. $10 a person. Okay, here's the next goal. 40,000 hours. I know y'all probably thinking, I don't have a life anymore. 4,000 hours. 4,000 hours. That's a lot. Woo! That is a whole lot. It's 24 hours a day. That's a lot of hours. All right. So listen. I know you're thinking 4,000 hours. That's a lot of hours. But I'm going to ask the same thing of you that your parents are being asked. So we're part of our goal. Okay, we're going to help with the 4,000, and we're going to do 400 hours. Okay? So, again, we have 100 students. What are we doing? Anybody? 4 hours. But listen, here's the cool part. You don't have to go, I don't know what to do. I don't have a car. Guess what? Your parents are being asked to do the exact same thing. So what you can do is you can go to your mom and dad, or your aunt, or your uncle, or your grandma, or your grandpa, whoever brought you, and you can go, hey, we were challenged to do 4 hours of service in our community in the next 3 weeks, and I want to do it. Where can we go serve? Because I'm telling you right now, your parents are going to be told that, and I'm going to tell you the exact same thing. Over there is a big wall and it says missions. Okay? There'll probably be a line there, but you can go over there and figure out where you can serve with your mom and dad. And you can go and serve with mom and dad. Or you can go and serve with mom and dad and your entire family. And I'm telling you right now, come back and tell me after Christmas if this isn't true, but I want to hear from you guys how much, or what this serving and what being generous, how it has affected you during this season. Because I know that there's this big thing, it's like, oh, it's all me, and we don't want to pop our bubble, and we don't want to see because we don't want to feel guilty, and we don't want to feel rich. But in reality, you have more than you know. You have a hole in your sink that you turn on a button, you throw food down it, and it disappears. So here's we always have a bottom line. God wants us to be rich in generosity. So we talked about rich. We said, what is rich? Rich is having an abundance. Rich is having a lot. Rich is having more than you almost need. It's having a mansion. It's having a throne. It's handing out big candy bars. It's having money that you can just give away. So rich. And we said generosity is giving more than is expected. More time or more money than is expected. So rich, abundance, overflowing, a lot, generosity. So we're going to give a lot of our time and money, okay? And guess what? Nobody's going to be sitting there going, hey, thank you so much. Guess why? Guess why we're doing this? Because God commands us to be generous. Guys, we do this so that people can see Jesus, not so that people can see us. Because if it was about seeing us, I would go, hey, let's raise $1 million and we'll do it for a year and we'll give it away to Lady Gaga so she can tell the world and live for the applause. But we're not doing that. We're going to take a check to the neighborhood center, say, here you go, And then we're gonna go right back to where we came from. Because you remember, we talked about serving a while back, and we said, if you serve out amongst a crowd and you serve for the applause of man, that is all you will get. That is all you will get. But if we are doing this for God, if we are being rich in generosity for the glory of God, so that God can be known, because our mission here at Crosspoint is introducing real people to a real God. And guess what? When you're a student, you're introducing real students to a real God. So my question to you is this. Do you want to be rich? Because I want to be rich.
I'm good.
You are rich. Guess what? If you have salvation, you have more than anybody could ever dream of. Salvation, eternal life. If you don't, if you have no idea what I just said, if you're like, dude, I don't know what salvation is, I don't know what, you said eternal life. What the heck is eternal life? I'm roasting up here. If that was you, guess what? Come talk to me. When we break out into small group, ask your small group leader. Small group leaders, ask your students. So I'm going to ask you guys, do you want to be rich? And the next couple of weeks, you might be able to tell me, yes, I want to be rich. But I won't know unless I see it. Actions speak louder than words. What'd you say, Ella? You said earlier when I said the money challenge, what'd you say?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Oh, let's do it.
All right. So I'm going to pray real quick. We're going to break into small groups. Let's do this thing. Lord God, we thank you for today. We thank you for each and every student that is in here. God, we thank you for everything that we have. God, we are rich. We are so rich we don't even know it. God.